Josh,
Yeah.
is the Snyderverse dead?
Um, I hope not.
Hold that thought. We're gonna ask that question here today on this next episode of the Film Bros podcast. I'm your host JP. This is my co-host Josh,
Hey guys.
and we're here to ask the question: Is the Snyderverse dead? Is the DCU dead, or DCU, or whatever convoluted thing it has
Whatever it's called
become?
now.
Yeah, as of lately. But before we get into it, would you like to let everybody know where they can find us?
At Film Bros Podcast, on all things like that. So Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, if you're watching this now, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Again, that's at Film Bros Podcast at Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So check us out.
Yes. With that, we are going to break down a few certain of events that, has been happening the past few days, okay? We're on day 3 of it. Obviously, Warner Brothers have been bought out by Discovery, WBD. For people that, excuse me, for people that don't know out there, let me bring you up to speed just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Warner Brothers was losing money. The DCU was supposed to be their cash cow. Hired Zack Snyder. The movie started off way back in 2013 with Man of Steel. Made a good chunk of change. Overall, worldwide box office was 600 mil, 667 million, and some change. It wasn't what they were looking for. It was a good profit, but wasn't what they're looking for. They said Superman should have been a bigger property, especially with the birth of the MCU and them ushering the era of superhero movies. Mm-hmm. One thing led to another. They cut 30 minutes off Batman versus Superman in 2016. And I want to just point out that I believe that that's when everything just started falling apart for the DCU. Because of those 30 minutes that were taken out, a lot of people couldn't understand the movie. Though a lot of people say the Ultimate Edition is good, way better than the theatrical version. I feel like the 30 minutes that was taken out kind of led to that. And it was a slippery slope from there. We got the Suicide Squad, which was a botched mess. Mm-hmm. Zack Snyder had to step away from Justice League during, while it was being filmed. Completed. We found out it was completed later on down the road. I'm a fortune teller, so I can tell you that we actually got Zack Snyder's product later down the road, but we're talking about 2017's Justice League. We got that one. Wasn't really liked by anybody. Moviegoers, DC fans, Snyder fans alike. Everybody universally agreed it was a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Then they had a couple ups, obviously Shazam was good. Aquaman made $1 billion. Wonder Woman was really good. I think it made around the same, a little bit less than BVS. So it had some success, but as time went on, Birds of Prey kind of hemorrhaged money. I believe they got right here, got 200 million actually. No, 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Birds of Prey back in 2020 got that much. Some people blame the pandemic, but I mean, kind of got a trend. Wonder Woman 1984 didn't even break 200 mil. The Suicide Squad didn't either. They made about the same, 160 mil and some change. Black Adam barely breaking even. By the way, that's coming out on HBO Max December 16th. Right before the holidays. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, go ahead and ruin your holidays. So, now we're at this point in the story where Warner Brothers is bought out. Hamada has gone. Mm-hmm. They hired the new head or co-heads of the DC Studios, brand new DC Studios, very own entity now, kind of like Marvel Studios over there at Disney. James Gunn, Peter Safran have been co-CEOs. Now, it's mostly going to be James Gunn's work, but Peter Safran's on the producing side, and he's going to make sure things go as smoothly as, what's the best interest in the company, and James Gunn's going to be the creator, obviously. Mm-hmm. So we're here in this part of the story that makes everybody scared. We got an article from the Hollywood Reporter at the time of recording. It was December 7th. The Hollywood Reporter broke that Wonder Woman 3 is effectively canceled. Mm-hmm. We didn't get a lot of detail, but a lot of news broke that a lot of movies are getting shelved. Black Adam 2 unlikely. Man of Steel 2 unlikely. Excuse me. I had a Red Bull, guys. Sorry. Aquaman 2 might be the final movie for Jason Momoa, at least as that character. We'll get to that in one of these topics. But then we fast forward to December 8th, and James Gunn woke up bright and early to kind of give us an explanation, and he tweeted. So as far as the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it's true, some of it's half true, and some of it's not true, and some of it we haven't decided whether or not it is true. He goes on to say about the first month, they're going to be choosing. Not everybody's going to be happy. If you guys want to see the whole article, he goes on a little rant. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's been a couple days. It's on his Twitter. Go ahead. But the important thing to take away from that is the very first one, because I kind of feel like it kind of sums up everything that everybody's thinking and what's on everybody's mind. Some of it's true. So what's the true part? What do you think is the true part?
Shit, I don't even know, man. There's a lot. It could be anything. It could be that Wonder Woman isn't coming, or we aren't getting sequels, or Superman entirely. I hope it's not the case, but I don't know. It's weird that they're being so vague, or he's being so vague about it, and then to say that they haven't decided whether it's true or not. How does that work? You're telling me Hollywood Reporter is guessing, and you're kind of like, maybe, like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
No, but I think as the Hollywood Reporter is, they are investigative journalists, so obviously they're going to speculate off the insider words that they got for it as well. So what I believe is true is that a lot of movies will get scrapped, obviously. What's not true, in my opinion, might just be that it might not be getting a full reboot. Or maybe that could be something they haven't decided whether it's true or not yet. There's a lot of questions that, that he's obviously being vague about. He can't release anything because, as we all know, at the time of recording, this is December 9th. Sometime next week, he's supposed to be meeting with Zaslav, Big Daddy Zaslav, to figure out if the plan is good enough for his 8 to 10 year plan there at WBD. So, there's a lot of things happening right now, okay? And me being a fan of the Snyderverse, DCU, okay? I love those movies. They're really good. A full reboot seems unlikely to me, and I'll tell you why. The only reason why it seems unlikely to me is because of the fact that Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad live within that universe. I don't think that he's willing to throw out all the hard work that he's done and ruin the potential season 2 for Peacemaker just so, he can reboot it. But does that cause a problem? Does it make it confusing? Is it, is it you can't just replace one or the other? You got to replace them as a whole. Can you keep what worked? Can you not keep what worked? What didn't? Can you just cut the fat here and there? What do you think?
Oh man, I don't even know. It's tough. It's tough to say because you can cut what didn't work and then do what they did with the Suicide Squad and soft reboot it and kill everybody. But I didn't like that. I didn't like that they chose that route in the Suicide Squad. I mean, they can do that and just be like, okay, well, this is what we're doing now, or they can use the Flash as a scapegoat and be like, okay, he reset the timeline. Some things did change, i.e., like Henry Cavill Superman isn't Superman; it's Supergirl now. Wonder Woman is that. Batman isn't Batfleck anymore. It's this. Whatever. Aquaman isn't Aquaman. He's Lobo. Say things changes in that aspect, but I don't know. It all sounds really bad. I think not bad in the sense of like oh yeah, those are bad decisions, but more of like he's gonna be turning heads, either way, because pleasing real DC fans and Snyder cultists, what do you call it, isn't easy. As you can tell, the Twitter has been a fucking dumpster fire more than it usually is, because you got hashtags like Fire James Gunn and shit like that all coming for his neck because the DCU fans, Snyder fans, what do you call it, don't want Henry Cavill to be gone, and they don't want them to rewrite the whole thing. And then you got real DC fans that are like, no, yeah, just start fresh. Like it'll be fine. Like we can live without it. But like, I don't know. It's all very like tough, and I don't even know if we're gonna even hear anything next week when he does tell Zaslav.
I don't think we're gonna hear anything right off the bat, but I think that we'll get little teases and tidbits because Zaslav is gonna want to show this off. Obviously, he's not gonna want to show everything off, but he's gonna want to show like, hey, we have a plan. I'm not bluffing. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm sitting here. So I think we'll get some tidbits. But you did mention that, the Fire James Gunn hashtag and everything. So, yeah, I know it's been kind of like a vocal part of Twitter that, the Snyderverse fans aren't really happy with a full reboot. And I love Henry Cavill. And I love Ben Affleck. I would hope that they, see a seat in, the next string of plans, but we, as of right now, we just don't know. There's some rumors going around saying that they still want Gal Gadot. I know Patty Jenkins, well, the reason why they're saying that it's canceled is because Patty Jenkins supposedly turned in a script. They refused it. Apparently, and this is just a leaked rumor, who knows, take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, it was bringing Steve Trevor back with the Lazarus Pit, back from the dead, basically. Makes zero sense to me. If it's true or not, I don't know. Apparently, they had a disagreement. She was offered to rewrite it and see if it fit within James Gunn's plan, and she just refused. She said no, she didn't want to do it. So, as of right now, it's cut because they don't know what to do with the character as of right now. I know there was a rumor saying Man of Steel was in production and there was a script or at least a screenplay ready to be turned in, but that's since then been halted. And it's causing a lot of DC fans to panic. Me being a DC fan as well, actually being the DCU fan. Because I really loved Man of Steel. BVS was my shit, bro. Even before the Ultimate Edition, I was like, man, like, this is a good movie. Now, the Ultimate Edition is far superior than the theatrical cut. I give you that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it got its point across, at least in the theater for the most part. until they put it back together again, and the Frankenstein's monster was fixed. But then we got the Suicide Squad that was butchered, but still had fun. Wish we got the air cut. Obviously, that's still a thing to be campaigned about. It got a little rocky once Snyder started leaving, and when Patty Jenkins, coming off the heels of 1984, it wasn't really well received. She really cut ties with a lot of what Zack Snyder had already previously laid out. I know Warner Brothers basically gave her the keys and was like, here, you have creative freedom. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I know that she changed Zack Snyder's VFX team and his stunt team, which showed it kind of affected the movie quite a bit. But, Patty Jenkins left. She walked out. Do you think it was a good thing? Do you think it was a bad thing? What, it was, me personally, I feel like it was probably the better things that could happen. But I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, it was clearly really good. Really good choice that she left. I think not just for like Wonder Woman purposes, because Wonder Woman 84 isn't the greatest, but it really shows that like she has like integrity, I guess you can call it, or whatever, for her own vision. So she kind of was just like, all right, then I'm gonna leave, get someone else to do it. So I guess good for her in that aspect, but bad for everyone else who was kind of like hanging on the coattails of Wonder Woman 3.
I think you're being too nice. I think she's an idiot. She is. Patty Jenkins is like, I don't even know what, like, I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't know her like that, but I think she's a fool sometimes. I mean, she had that, I showed you that trailer with Star Wars that, she had a movie coming up, but because of what she did with 84 and the poor received reviews and, from the audience, she messed up her bag. Now, she wrote Zack Snyder, and, the first Wonder Woman was a banger, okay? It was a banger. The last act, universally not liked by a good chunk of people, but, they did what they could. It was supposed to be a different ending, but hey, Warner Brothers wanted to step in on that movie as well. It's fine, whatever. It was just a banger. Wonder Woman was good. And the first one, and you could tell it was heavily influenced by Zack Snyder.
Well, yeah, and like it is drastically like better. You can see it, direction, tone, action. It's all better. And I'm not arguing about that, but like as dumb as she was for walking out, it really shows that she was kind of like sticking to her word and wherever the fuck she was doing. But like I'm pretty sure they can get someone else to write it and direct it. That isn't a problem. She just seemed like the likely candidate because she's been doing it for 2 movies now. So,
yeah. And I mean, one hit and one miss. I mean, I guess you can say give it another try. But if your movie got turned down and you knew that things were going to be changing and things were going to be switching up, why walk out? And why is there a rumor going around saying that she linked the Wikipedia page arc or character arc in the rumor as well?
I don't know.
Apparently she emailed that to them, so I'm not sure about that one. Like I said, all these are rumors. Take them with a grain of salt. But Patty Jenkins walking out, I kind of feel like it was dumb for her to do. She should have stuck with it. And I know Gal Gadot is really attached to Patty, and I know that she really likes making Wonder Woman movies with her. But as of right now, it seems like everybody's contract's in the air, right?
Yeah.
Gal Gadot went onto Twitter and, posted literally a day before everything happened about how she was thankful for being Wonder Woman. Dwayne Johnson before that as well. It was just it was crazy because right after that's when all the news broke that Wonder Woman 3 was going to be canceled, and we obviously we're all devastated by that one. But it sounds like they still want Gal Gadot, but it seems like they don't want everybody. right? I know that they want her, but she doesn't want to do another movie without Patty. But I would think that she should just let that go and just go ahead and just be Wonder Woman if they're giving her the chance. Henry Cavill leaving The Witcher prematurely, possibly no contract, fumbling the bag that way. I mean, is it true? Is he not gonna play Superman? And did he really just leave The Witcher for no reason?
Fuck, man. I hope not. I hope it isn't true. This is one of those things that I hope isn't true. I hope they do have something in mind for him. They do get him back. If he's filming all these cameos and they're arguing about what they're gonna do with them, like, why not just give him the shit? People want him. He's not even fighting back. He said he's willing to do whatever it takes. Like, if they fumble the bag, bro, with him again, there's just no hope, honestly. Like Hamada did it. Hamada hated his ass for whatever reason. But, like, if they fumble the bag with him again, bro, there's just no way. There's no way people can still be trusting this man, James Gunn, with their shit, you know? And I know you'd be like, oh, it's all part of his big plan or whatever, but again, they greenlit him to show up in Black Adam moments before the movie dropped. And now they're saying he has a cameo in The Flash.
Yeah, but because of the fact, the reason why he got caught, he was put in Black Adam is because Dwayne The Rock Johnson basically pushed for that. That wasn't him pushing. That wasn't the studio giving it to him. That was The Rock pushing for him.
Exactly. And, like, what's the problem with that? You know, like, there shouldn't be a problem with that. The Rock campaigned for it and he got it. Why can't they show that kind of integrity going forward? It's just a lot of, like, we know what the fans want. The Black Adam was willing to deliver that.
Well, that's where it.
They call him Black Adam. The Rock was willing to deliver that.
But that's where it's getting lost in translation, right? Because The Rock was over here thinking that this universe was going to continue and they were just going to, you know, patch up the wounds and, you know, keep going. That's why he fought for this, because he was like, hey, you know, we're going to, if $7 Productions, which is his production company, if we're going to put our money into this, I want who I want. And if there's a Superman out there, this is who I want. And luckily, things worked out and the old regime passed on. And Zaslav was like, hey, I love Man of Steel. I love Henry Cavill Superman. I don't know why they haven't been putting him in the movies. Yeah, go ahead. Fucking film something. So he got put in there. No contract, no nothing. People were excited, but obviously not that excited because it did not help with none of the ticket numbers. If Henry, in my opinion, if Black Adam would have did a little bit better, it would have showed more faith in where the DCU was going, and we could have probably kept that universe going. But because of the poor reception from it, I mean, the fans say they loved it on the Rotten Tomatoes score. I think it has like an 89% on the audience score. Bad critic score. But the fans really loved it.
I did.
It wasn't that good, but it was okay. I mean, I'm gonna rewatch it on December 16th, but besides the point, if people would have watched that movie, I feel like it would have had a better chance. But the fact that not a lot of people went to go, real DC fans, Snyder fans, whatever, does that show that people are just tired of this universe?
I don't think people are tired of it. They're just tired of, they don't know which direction it's going, and it's not having the connectedness that the MCU has. And I don't mean connectiveness where it's like, oh yeah, we get, you know, this person, like the chick, like when they threw in the chick from Peacemaker in Black Adam. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mean that kind of connectivity. I mean, like, this movie's going to lead into the next, and then the next, and then the next. You know what I mean?
Like how Man of Steel, BVS was.
Yeah.
Bro, you know how perfect down to that last minute detail.
Mm.
It was to see that opening for BVS picking up right after or during Man of Steel, the events of Man of Steel,
Yeah.
happening a year later from the events that happened there, showing the repercussions leading into the next movie. If the Suicide Squad, or the first Suicide Squad movie, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, wasn't butchered, that I would have connected to that one too. It's in a way it still did. I liked how the Flash was in it a little bit, and Ben Affleck's Batman, and I heard there was supposed to be more of him, but you know he got cut a little bit more.
Yeah. And like that's what I mean though. Like I don't think it's just people are tired of it. They just don't know where it's going, and this is really throwing me off, everyone off, because it's like, well, are they keeping everything else? Because I mean, people still love Harley Quinn. Like no matter where, I don't think matter where you land on real DC fans or Snyder cultists, it's everyone loves the chick that plays Harley. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Margot Robbie. You know, everyone loves her. She's great at what she does. She does a really good Harley Quinn. Does that mean she's out too? You know what I mean? Like, or is he gonna play favorites and be like, no, Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, that's all staying because it's mine. Everything else can go. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he could totally do that.
Well, he really does love Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and like I said, the Suicide Squad, it was a hit with the critics and the fans are like, yeah, it didn't make the money. I mean, you could blame it on the pandemic or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but he loves all those characters. The Peacemaker, he worked hard on it. Season 2 is greenlit. I'm pretty sure they're filming it as of right now or something like that.
Yeah.
So it would seem odd to me if they reboot this whole franchise. But I kind of think that they need to do something of a reboot. And like how you said, we need more connectivity. We need something that's going to push. I think that's why it's been kind of hard for me to want to watch these movies, is because it's been a lot of aimless storytelling, like Shazam. Why wasn't Black Adam in Shazam? He was mentioned. It didn't really push anything forward. I mean, yeah, we know they leave off with the family, but it didn't really set up anything after that. You know what I mean? We had a headless cameo from Superman, and that was it. Black Adam, same thing. Yeah, there's going to ultimately be a fight with Superman, but what else did it set up besides, you know what I mean? Besides that, Birds of Prey. I mean, you could argue and say that arc was kind of from the Suicide Squad, and then it led into Birds of Prey, but after that, what did it really set up? And I mean, until I feel like James Gunn kind of lined it up perfectly and kind of made it go into the Suicide Squad kind of seamlessly. So, I mean, I think he kind of did pretty good, because there was mentions of, you know, her robbing a bank and everything like that from the Birds of Prey movie. So, you know, there was that little connectivity there, but none of these movies haven't really been pushing the narrative. It just kind of seems aimless and like, oh yeah, it is connected because they talk about this and that real quick, and you know, they add hardcore into Black Adam, and you know what I mean? And maybe that was James Gunn's idea. Maybe that was him saying, hey, if we want a little bit more connectivity, because like I said, they've been working with each other since before all this acquisition happened and everything. And so Zaslav was able to see what he was able to do. So I'm pretty sure before he even got hired for that position, they had conversations and they spoke.
And, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but like you mentioned,
fuck you, yeah, you did.
No, you mentioned Suicide Squad.
No, man, fuck you, bro.
Listen,
no, just kidding. Go ahead.
You mentioned Suicide Squad. So the only things that really cement the universe are
semen.
No, I said cement.
My bad.
The fuck?
Oh,
what do you call it? Are Harley Quinn?
Yeah.
Did I spit on you?
Huh?
Did I spit on you?
No, I got an eye boogie.
Well, I was like, damn, my bad. But Harley Quinn, the Amanda Waller, and well, as of now, the Flash and Aquaman. Those are probably the only 4 things that really you can be like, oh yeah, no, this connects everything, because we don't know what Shazam is. He hasn't, like you said, they haven't mentioned Justice League or anything like that, other than like, oh, this Batman's battering, whatever. Black Adam just mentioned Superman. We don't know where Aquaman 2 is going. Wonder Woman 84 didn't set up anything. I feel like I'm missing something else. The Suicide Squad didn't really set up much either, but again, that had Amanda Waller in it, and she's been in it since 2016 when the David Ayer Suicide Squad came out.
Yeah.
So like she's the one that's kind of like the answer to like Nick Fury or whatever, but with the Suicide Squad. So again, it's what are they going to keep and what are they throwing away? They're going to keep the shit that works. James Gunn Suicide Squad. Amanda Waller, Harley. We can see now Aquaman might be going. Gal Gadot could be staying. We don't know where Superman is. We don't know what Batman they're picking. Like, I don't know. They could do a whole bunch of shit, but I don't think it's gonna please everybody. Because think about it. If the Snyder cultists, fans, whatever you want to call them, fans of the old DCU are really showing up and showing out like they say they are. Because again, you can't get a movie that was claimed not to exist, claimed not to be filmed, whatever, pushed out years after the fact. So that means that one, the fan base is huge, and two, real DC fans aren't showing up and showing out like they say they are, because you can see it in the numbers. Black Adam, like you just said, I loved it. But again, if real DC fans loved it, they would have boosted the fuck out of it, right? So where's Aquaman 2 gonna go? Where is Shazam 2 gonna go? The Flash, that's already being controversial, and they're pushing it saying, nah, I don't think I want to see it because of Ezra Miller or whatever the fuck. You know? So if they're real DC fans, they'd be watching these movies kind of regardless, you know what I mean? Because it's DC content. I know we're gonna go see them. Yeah. But that's because we like the movies. Even if Snyder isn't in it, we still go see them. We like them. Whatever else, whether it's Black Adam or it's Aquaman 2, whatever the fuck else. Yeah. So, but like, that's what I mean. It's not about, I don't think it's gonna please everyone like James Gunn is saying.
Well, it won't, obviously. It's not gonna please everybody. And, you know, the picking and choose, and I think that's going to be a problem too, is the picking and choosing of the cast of who's going to be around and who's not. Like you mentioned earlier, Aquaman being Lobo, potentially, right? Jason Momoa having that video on the internet, on Twitter, of him going crazy. James Gunn putting a picture of Lobo, him looking exactly like Lobo, you know, putting two and two together, you know, taking him out as Aquaman and rebooting him and putting him as Lobo, I don't have a problem with. That's cool, putting him as a whole new character. But would it help out as a whole to basically just put a bandage over the wound and keep going? I don't think that's going to be sufficient enough. I don't think, as much as I hate to say it, Cavill's my second favorite Superman, only because Christopher Reeves and nostalgia. That's just my childhood, but whatever. He's my second favorite Superman. He's the best one we got so far. I know we got Brandon Ruth when I was growing up, but Henry Cavill really takes the cake for me. Ben Affleck is Batman. I love it. So it really hurts me to say this, okay? Just, hey, look at me. I'm getting emotional, and I need you to, you know, just pay attention to me for a second. I don't think they can keep them. I don't think we can keep those characters, because it's just kind of how the Hollywood Reporter put it. It's too much baggage. It's going to be way too much. Way too much. You know, Snyder fans, DC fans, real DC fans, how you're saying, it's too divided. In my opinion, having Matt Reeves' universe, it's a bad thing too, because it's too divided. Now they're going to be like, you know, kind of dividing the fan base. BVS, Ben Affleck's Batman is better than Pattinson's Batman, or Pattinson's Batman is better than this one, or the suit, or whatever. It's like, why cause that division? You don't see the MCU putting out, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, the most they can compare is Hulk and She-Hulk, right? be like, oh, well, those are two different characters. You can't really compare them. But Batman's Batman. You can't, you know what I mean? It just, it's causing too much confusion, too much division, confusion for the general audience because, okay, what universe is this and who are they trying to connect to? Division because between the fans, like how you said, real DC fans, Snyder fans, Matt Reeves universe fans now, you know what I mean? So it's too divided. There's too much to fix. At this point, it's time to throw out the old and in with the new. Even if we don't get the same characters. Now, we'll go into the theory of what we think may happen in a little bit, but until then, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would like to see it too, and like again, the Flash can fix this. I know everyone is banking on the Flash movie. Like we said in the old episodes that y'all should totally check out. The old regime was banking on this movie. The new heads in charge are banking on this movie because they say it's doing really well. If this is a Flashpoint movie, assuming it's Flashpoint, because judging by the trailer, it looks like there's multiple Flash, one Batman, Keaton's Batman. I don't know if they added Affleck or not, or whatever else, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can rewrite history and just be like, oh no, we him going back changed this, that, threw away this, threw away that, and then we kept this, and that. So like he goes back in time, they fix everything that needs to be fixed, and then in this new timeline, Jason Momoa is Lobo. So and so Superman, so and so is Batman, and then no one can bat an eye. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's how it goes in the comics, whatever else. So it's kind of like, we're like, oh, like this person isn't this person anymore because someone Flash went back and they fixed it and out of
okay. Let me ask you this
story.
Let me ask you this: they bring back Cavill, they bring back Gal Gadot, they bring back Ben Affleck, Ezra Miller. Sure, he passed it, but they don't bring back Cyborg, not Ray Fisher. They replace him because of all the baggage that happened with the old regime. They're like, hey, there's too much. We're not apologizing to you. We're new people. We're not going to apologize to you. Yeah. He says, they can't reach a deal. They bring in somebody else. Don't you think that would cause issues and more division within the studio?
Well, yeah, of course, because it is unforgivable what they did to him. It sucks, and it's not the new head's fault, but it's the fact that even the old regime has said something, and the fact that it could be James Gunn saying something or Zaslav apologizing, just even if they don't bring him back, just to give him that closure, to be like, hey man, like, we're sorry for the past, we'll try and do better. If you're up to talking to us about coming back, then we'll have that conversation. But it's the fact that they haven't said anything, regardless of it.
But that's the reason why I'm saying is that it is, sorry to cut you off, but that's what I'm saying, is that will cause an issue. It's going to cause a problem. People are going to be like, well, why aren't you bringing him back? You're bringing back everybody else. Why not him? You know what I mean? Same thing if you replace Affleck's Batman. They're going to be like, well, you're bringing everybody else back. Why not Affleck? Same thing with Henry Cavill. They don't bring him back because he's too much of a star or not a star enough or whatever the reason may be. Say Ezra Miller, they can't forgive him for what he did. They're not bringing him back, but people don't agree with it. It's going to be a big problem because people already grew up with these. You know what I mean? It's like how you said. I mean, the first Man of Steel came out in 2013. People has been in this fight to see Zack Snyder's Justice League for a while. The people put a lot of time and investment in, and maybe it's just Snyder fans, maybe it's DC fans that wanted to see his vision realized. Who knows? I don't want to be a divider in that as well. I think DC fans should just, fucking just go watch the movies. If you like DC, just go watch DC movies. Don't worry about who's making them. I mean, if they're really bad movies, then worry about it. Like Justice League, bro, worry about that shit. Don't watch any more movies that he makes. But I think everybody should just go watch them.
Of course.
And but like I said, is it all out, all out with the old and in with the new, or is it just? I don't think we can. I don't think we can just put a bandage on it. I think it's good, and that's the only thing that sucks is that that's why I think the Snyderverse might be over because there's no bandages for this. It's in too deep. Now, if they do find a way, say they do it with the Flash or whatever, like how you're saying, will it confuse audiences? Will they still even want to go because of all the drama they heard about and how Black Adam and how disconnected? Say they do a full reboot. Will anybody even go watch Aquaman 2? Would it even matter?
If they care like they say they care, hell yeah. Again, if you're a real DC fan and you're not watching these movies, what are you? What are you doing? You're not a DC fan. You're pussyfooting because what do you call it? Because it's not your character that you like, or it's not this iteration of the story that you like. Like, that's dumb. You can eat whatever the fuck Marvel shits out for the next year and a half because it's being forced down your throat. You can argue about She-Hulk, watching it episode after episode, waiting for the second to last episode to see Daredevil, and then cream your pants when you see him. Like there's no way that you can call yourselves a real DC fan and not go see these movies. And then if you want to say it's shit afterward, say it's shit afterward. But they got your money. It's going to go into the next DC project that you'll probably like. So be about the next character that you want to see. Whether it's this, and that.
But you just said it right there. You probably like. But like Black Adam, I wanted that shit to be a banger. I didn't want to probably like it. I wanted to like it. I wanted to go into that movie and, actually enjoy it. Same thing when I was watching Man of Steel, same thing with Wonder Woman, same thing with Shazam, same thing. I wanted to enjoy all of them. It's too, and I'm not just talking about real DC fans or Snyder fans like how you're saying and stuff like that.
When you go into a movie though, it's all 50-50 on it.
Yes, but if it has a track record of not being connected and not having, and being confusing, not seeing Superman for so many years, not knowing where Wonder Woman is going to be popping up next. Like the Trinity themselves have been put in the back burner for all these secondary characters in the DC universe as of right now. Like I told you, I think I told you off the pod, or I don't know if I said it during the pod, but Shazam's a secondary character. Black Adam's a villain to a secondary character. Nobody wants to see them in their own solo movies before introducing them in something bigger. Or maybe, maybe yes in their solo movies, but if they're teased in a different movie. They weren't even teased. Shazam was just kind of like, hey, well, let's make a Shazam movie. There was no connectivity to the rest of the films except for that headless cameo at the end. But, I mean, it could have been anybody in that suit. I think it was Tom Cruise. But, Black Adam. Yes, 15 years in the making, hierarchy of the DC universe. Literally changed, to be honest, with James Gunn. But I wanted to go into Black Adam wanting to like it. They hyped it up so much. The trailers looked great. I didn't really get a lot of information, but at least the kills look sick. And I think that's basically what we got from that movie was the kills look sick. But I mean, we don't want to probably gonna like it. I mean, and yeah, it is a 50-50 shot, but with Marvel, it's more of a 50-50 because at least they give you consistent products and either you're gonna really fall in love with this one or it's probably not gonna be for you, or you can find that middle ground and be like, it was okay, but I didn't like it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not anymore. DC Marvel fans are gonna watch it because it's connected and this and that, and it leads into the next thing.
Exactly. That's what DC's lacking.
Listen, DC, while it is getting back on its feet, can start delivering us that with James Gunn's direction, whether it be after the Flash or whatever they do after, the next couple of years. It's just about getting ready to see it, and that's where DC needs to be in order, kind of like sooner than later, hey, I'm gonna go see this. I'm gonna go see Aquaman 2. Not because what do you call it? Because what's her name's in it for more than 2 minutes, blah blah blah, but because you want more DC stuff, and the only way to get more DC stuff is by watching what's out now, what's coming out now. Marvel movies can afford to be like, or what people do now is they'll go see it, be like, damn, this MCU product was ass. Can't wait for the next one. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so do you want to go into a DC movie being like, this movie wasn't that good, but at least they took my money to build so they can make another mediocre movie?
No.
Where like as the MCU, you know you're gonna get, whether you like the product or you don't like the product, you know the product at least tried to deliver something. And I think that's all MCU movies and shows, that they try to deliver something. I don't think I've had anything Marvel, like, I think the only thing I couldn't really stomach was Miss Marvel. And that one was like one out of how many projects they put out? I think they're already over 30 projects. So, I mean, a few bad in a sea of good, winning's the ultimate dub, bro. Like, whatever you do, you can make shitty ass She-Hulk, but that's a studio that made Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, a couple bad eggs isn't going to deter you.
Yeah.
A few bad eggs.
See, well, like, that's what I mean. Not every product is going to be Iron Man. Not every product's going to be Black Adam or Justice League or Suicide Squad. Because we've had bangers.
Yeah.
Controversial bangers. But bangers regardless.
Okay.
If DC wasn't, if the old regime wasn't so focused on money, what do you call it? We would have been just fine getting more products. But look at what we're getting now. Aquaman, The Flash, Shazam 2, Blue Beetle next year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
There's been 11 DC projects that have been released as of late. Okay? 11. You like Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Batman vs. Superman?
Yes.
Suicide Squad?
For what it is, kind of. I wish we could get the A cut.
Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Justice League?
No.
Okay. That's a bad one. This one was kind of Shazam, you liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
1984?
No.
Okay. The Suicide Squad?
No.
Okay. Black Adam?
Yes.
Okay. So they had about 1, 2, 3. To be honest, Black Adam, I'm going to put that on my list, 4. So out of 11 movies, 4 bad ones. And that, you know, that's starting off early. And if you want to be a real DC fan, they say that one's bad. They say that one's bad. They say that one's bad. They say that one's really bad. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it makes it even worse because, like I said, the fan base is divided. So you may only hate like 3, but there's people that hate all of these plus a couple of these 3 that you picked out, you know, like Birds of Prey and all that stuff. So, like I said, it's not very consistent. With Marvel, you could say yes, 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 yes. Maybe you could say their formula is a little stale, but at least they're, you know, they're producing something. Kind of like what that robot said in She-Hulk, you know, near perfect products. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to get as close as possible. You're going to get the highest of the highs in the MCU with Civil War, Infinity War, the first Avengers, and then you're going to get the lowest of the lows, like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. But in DC, we've been having some highs and having some lows, having some real lows. So, I mean, it's really unreliable as of right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think the point that is just, if you're a real DC fan, you'd be watching these movies. Point blank, period. That's it. I mean, regardless, come out hating it, whatever, just the next project will, again, either wow you or not. But, like, at least it's pushing out another product for you to go enjoy or hate after the fact.
And then now we also have the old regime coming out. You know, some people saying that Hamada had certain plans for Superman and certain, you know, things here and there. Crisis on Infinite Earths. Okay. Michael Keaton coming back for Batman Beyond, supposedly. You know, supposedly all these plans were supposed to be happening, but they never came into fruition. And that was happening a lot under Walter Hamada's watch because, we had a whole slate back in 2016. We should have been on Justice League 3, I think, by this year if everything was going the way that it was supposed to be going. But everything was botched up. And, I don't know if we can believe what these leaks are saying or what they supposedly said about it, like 100%, because I don't think Hamada was bringing Cavill back at all. But you know what? I want to know, just to kind of wrap up the show a little bit, I want to know how you would go about this. You're the head of DC Studios. You got The Flash coming out, Aquaman 2, Shazam! Fury of the Gods is coming out. You have to fix this. You have to fix it. They're telling you, reboot, don't reboot, do what you got to do. Tell us what we're gonna do with the movies. How we're gonna move forward from this. How are you gonna make us money?
After The Flash, assuming we push out everything else after The Flash, after Blue Beetle, whether Blue Beetle is its solo thing or not, only I could know that, right? We move forward the best we can. Again, without having seen The Flash, assuming it's a Flashpoint movie, we can just say that, like I said earlier, he fucked the timeline. The timeline reset some things. The timeline kept some people, threw away some people, whatever else. Because we know we probably aren't getting Affleck back after Aquaman 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or if George Lopez's rumor is true and he shows up in Blue Beetle, who knows? But if Affleck's out, we either, if we're going off the basis of we're not having more than one Batman, either make Pattinson the guy, or we figure out how to get another Batman, right? But that's the sixth Batman in like 3 years. Fuck, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we do what we gotta do there, and then we move forward, making the movies with, whether it be with Cavill or whatever else that they set forward. Because assume Cavill's out and it is Supergirl, great. Make a Supergirl movie. If they're like somewhere down the line, no, give us Superman, we could be like, okay, well, he was here, there, whatever. Because she was supposed to get there to Earth in the comics, but I'm not gonna get into all that. Keep Gal Gadot, assuming she still wants to, pay her a fat check, whatever. We keep Ezra Miller as Flash, depending on how the Flash goes. What do you call it? Ray Fisher. Fortunately, if I was the head, I'd apologize and be like, hey, sorry. If you want to come back, cool. If not, totally up to you. We're going to recast him, put him on Teen Titans, not with the Justice League. Because that wasn't ever my favorite thing. Because he's a teenager, and like, even though he has high tech, that's my own thing. Like, he should be with the Titans. The Justice League will be Superman or Supergirl, Wonder Woman, whatever Batman, The Flash. If we recast Aquaman, whatever. Martian Manhunter, because I don't think he's going anywhere. Green Lantern. And that's our roster till we flesh it out. Whether we bring in Shazam, which would be fine because he should still exist.
But would you keep the same characters?
From Shazam?
No, the same characters from the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some actors.
So just continue?
Yeah. Well, fix what we can and then just move with the wound. Because, I mean, we can only build off of what's been done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We can't ignore past storytelling, regardless how some fans feel. We can only improve upon it, right? So they didn't like Superman all gloomy and dark. I don't know where the fuck that came from. So we give them what they want, whether it be MCU shit, where he's just happy-go-lucky the whole damn time, or whatever there else, and we just push forward.
Now, see, this is where, before I give you my plan, this is where I'm gonna say, Snyderverse is perfect. Okay, started off, you can't lie, it did start off kind of dark and gloomy, but I feel like Zack Snyder was making Superman relatable. struggling to find his place in this world. You know, him being an alien and all powerful doesn't mean that you're going to have it all figured out. And you can't just be all happy when, you know, I kind of feel like that's how Superman would have been treated in the real world.
Oh, no. You got no complaints from me.
No. Hold on. Order.
I'm sorry. I'm passionate about my shit, so...
Order.
Just...
BVS, you know, he was struggling with the repercussions of the first Man of Steel. Batfleck was, you know, he turned into the very thing he wanted to destroy, you know, and it pained him. The Martha scene happened. And then in Zack Snyder's Justice League, when we finally got it, after so many years of petitioning for it, it showed that hopeful Batman and that hopeful Superman. And it showed that it was going to lead to those, you know, to that. And people just couldn't wait for it, you know. So what I think is, and this is how I would approach it, full reboot, change the characters. And like I said, it sucks because I love the characters that we have, but I don't think we can cherry pick this. I don't know if we can be like, oh, well, Shazam did really good, keep Zachary Levi or whatever. Or no, you can't, because you can't. I don't think you could cherry pick it. Peacemaker, all that, it would have to go out the door because, I mean, maybe you can retcon a couple things from Peacemaker because there's not a lot of references to the larger DCU except for maybe the very end and Amanda Waller and you know what I mean? But completely start all over and give us a Justice League movie. Don't give us the solo projects. Don't give us one by one. Do that after. Give us one Justice League with Batman finding Superman, you know, in a way, kind of like, maybe a little bit better, but kind of like how Justice League War kind of happened. You know what I mean? You know, show them finding each other slowly, but surely in a crazy world or whatever. Superman is hopeful. And then maybe go into that arc where, you know, his spirit's getting broken a little bit or something because of certain things that are happening, you know, make him relatable in a different way. And with the slate that we have now, either tax write-off or, you know, just for money, because I know Warner Brothers is going a little broke.
They can't afford another tax write-off.
Yeah. Or straight to streaming. Because honestly, if in the next couple weeks, if they say, hey, guys, well, we are rebooting, these movies aren't going to really go anywhere. By Aquaman 2, it's going to leave you with a cliffhanger. Not a lot of people are going to want to go watch it. Yes, real DC fans, okay? And you know what? Maybe that's who showed up and showed out at Black Adam. And that's why it's so low, you know, but the audiences, the worldwide audiences are going to be like, well, it's just going to be the last of it. I don't want to watch this. I'm not going to go and pay a ticket. I could just wait until it's on DVD and then, you know, I'll just rent it real quick and watch it at home. So, and just, you know, change characters. I mean, Jason Momoa playing a whole different character is kind of like a workaround. So if they do want him as Lobo, if that was my plan, I think that could probably work. But I don't think you can have them play the same characters, and I think they would have to completely. If I had it my way, to be honest, if they wanted to, if Matt Reeves was cool about it, like just add Superman into the Reeves universe and just build from the Batman and just move up, kind of thing, you know, just like I think I talked to you about this before. Just, you know, start off grounded, you know what I mean? And then slowly start adding in little elements of you know, these extra, you know, because Robert Pattinson's Batman's young, you know what I mean? Mm. Who knows if Clark Kent wasn't living there this whole time, you know? Like, what if Clark Kent's just a teenager by the first Batman, or like 18, you know, like getting ready to head out into the world, and by the next movie, you know, you see him flying in the sky in his tights or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, next thing you know, the next movie comes around, or, you know, Wonder Woman, or, you know, whatever. Yeah. But you have to have the Trinity first. I think if they're going to make a new step, they have to have the Trinity. There's no way that you're going to give us a I know James Gunn was saying a Batmite or, what else? Some goofy ass shit that he was saying. You can't do that. We need the Trinity. We need Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman front and center in order to kick off this new universe. There's no, oh, let's start with Plastic Man or some shit like that. Like this is stupid. No, that's how I would handle it, and I know it wouldn't make a lot of people happy, and that's the only thing I can think James Gunn is probably thinking, and why he's saying, it's not going to make a lot of people happy, because a full reboot of a franchise is nothing to just be like, whatever about. It's really, you're going to have to say goodbye to these characters. I would just at least give them one last hurrah. Just give them one more movie where they can say their goodbyes and then reboot it. That's what I would do. But, I'm not the head of DC Studios. You're not the head of DC Studios. If the Snyderverse is truly done, and this is gonna be the end of the characters that we grew up with this last 10 years, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
it really is.
Sucks thinking about it. It sucks talking about this because, like, I love these movies. I rewatch Man of Steel all the fucking time. How many times have you seen me just watching that movie? You're like, why the fuck are you rewatching this? I'm just like, because of it, I love this movie. It makes me feel good. And then I know I don't rewatch BVS or Zack Snyder's Justice League as often because they are long movies, longer than Man of Steel, but I love them too. And like, I rewatch Wonder Woman occasionally. Like, these movies, I just love these movies, and if they do have to go, then damn, bro, that's gonna suck. It makes me cry, or it's gonna make me cry thinking about it.
I think me being a Snyder fan, and yeah, it was really gut wrenching to hear the news as well in the beginning, when it first broke, because it does seem like it's gonna be the end of an era, and it does fucking suck. Like, it's not good. The only upside I can think of is that at least we got the trilogy. At least we got Man of Steel, BVS, and even though it ends in a cliffhanger, Zack Snyder's Justice League, that hopeful Superman, fucking Superman going beast mode and fucking up Steppenwolf, and Cyborg fucking having one of the greatest arcs in any movie. The Flash, his moment that, for his time to shine when, both those characters were severely cut down in Justice League. So it's I think those movies are beautiful. At least we have that trilogy, and if we have to say goodbye, we'll do it justice, and we'll rewatch these movies, and we'll live them as often as we can, show that respect.
Yeah.
And if you're a DC fan, there shouldn't be this divide anymore. I think everything needs to be united. I think there shouldn't be all this beefing. Oh, you're not a real DC fan. Oh, Matt Reeves is better. Oh, this and that. And no. Go watch the fucking movies. Yeah, Marvel has its own little divided fan bases, and they have their little corners of whatever.
But you bet your ass they'll be seated the next time the movie comes
Exactly. Around. They're coming back to watch the next film. So, with that, I think we should wrap it up here, because you look like you're about to cry, dude. You look like it's hitting hard.
Dude, it's tough, man. Like, yeah, because I mean, like, thinking about it sucks, and then like now it's hitting me that it could be like, it is kind of like heart wrenching. But like when we were texting about this last night, I was like, it makes me angry. You know what I mean? Because I'll say it now. I've been saying it for the last couple of pods. I don't really like James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
If he shits the bed, I'm not going to like him anymore. And it's going to suck because he runs DC for the next 4 years. I got nothing else. That's it, bro.
I would hope that he takes into consideration everything. He's a very active voice on Twitter. You can tell he watches what people say, and he responds in a timely manner, and he does all that good stuff. So I think that at least he's listening to the fans, and this is where my little sliver of hope for the Snyderverse, because the fans of Zack Snyder and his films for DC, they didn't give up. We got Zack Snyder's Justice League when they said it did not exist, and it did. Yeah. So this is that little part of me that still has hope. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that James Gunn does what you say. Okay, just patches up the wounds and keeps going. Keeps Henry Cavill. Or if he does do a complete reboot, it's kind of, I would think it would be kind of like that Dark Apocalypse movie, in that animated one where it's like clear the board. Yeah. By the end of The Flash, the board is clear. They show us a different origin for it. I wouldn't want an origin Man of Steel movie again, to be honest. I wouldn't want an origin Superman movie. Just skip us to the next part. That's fine. We've had enough of those. Yeah. I think if they do it, just give us back the characters, the actors, if they want to, and just do a story that you guys want to go ahead and do. But just keep the same actors. At least if they're there, it'll seem as if it kind of lives on. Yeah. But if they completely take them out, then we know that we're in a completely new chapter, mm-hmm. and we're in a completely different page, and we're just gonna have to ignore everything else.
Pretty much.
And it sucks. I mean, shit. Hey, maybe in The Flash, he just rewinds time, and maybe the first season of Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, and maybe all those movies may not matter, but John Cena can still be Peacemaker, and keep moving forward and have a different arc or whatever. Maybe the dad can come back to life, and they could do something different. Maybe, spoilers if you haven't seen the Peacemaker, my bad. If you haven't seen it, they say fuck a lot in that show, just to give you a heads up. The Suicide Squad, maybe what's his name, Colonel Rick Flag is still alive now, and so there is positives, and hopefully they can, if they do change the characters, like Jay Courtney, who played Captain Boomerang, and if they say, hey, you know what, we want those characters back, but maybe with different actors, maybe those would be okay with changing, but the core Justice League cast, I would at least want them to stay. Yeah. And like how you said, apologize to Ray Fisher, bring him back. He was a really good cyborg. I liked him, and he was great. And it sucks that we only got him for one movie, and he was supposed to be in The Flash until everything happened. Fucking Hamada. But yeah, what do you guys think out there? We want to know from you guys. Do you think the Snyderverse is dead? Will it live on? Do you believe these rumors of Batman Beyond and Momoa coming back as Lobo? What do you guys feel like he fits that narrative, that character? Mm-hmm. A lot of changes happening in DC. Are you guys happy? Are you guys upset? Are you guys outraged? Are you guys heartbroken? Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Where can they let us know, Josh? Go ahead.
On Twitter and TikTok at Film Bros Podcast. YouTube comments at Film Bros Podcast. And if you want to listen to our other episodes, Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Film Bros Podcast.
Yes. And we hope to see y'all at the next set of DC movies. And we'll see you guys on the next pod.
Talk to you guys later.
We'll see you. Late.